Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL's Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a stud tight end that I'd like you guys to meet. This here is Anthony Landphere. He is out of the University of Memphis. Nice to meet you today, sir.
Good to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
Sure thing. Obviously, coming out of Memphis, very nice program. Had a great season this past year. You yourself had a good season as well, named first team all conference. And so, want to get a chance to meet this guy and see how he lines up in this season's draft. So, go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll get started.
Yeah, so my name's Anthony Landphere from the University of Memphis. I play tight end, and I was born and raised in San Mateo, California.
Nice. So, Anthony, give me a good sense of you and your history with the game of football. How long have you played this game?
Yeah, so I started playing football in the seventh grade, which is a little later than a lot of people who, start when they're 5, 6 years old. But as soon as I started playing it, I fell in love with it. So,
Hey, it's fair. I mean, it's not as long, of a break that suggests a problem or anything. So that's not so bad.
yeah.
Also have in my notes, attended St. Francis High School there in California, and along with some football, did some basketball as well. So, as a student athlete in high school, give me one of your fondest memories.
Yeah, so one of my favorite memories was playing De La Salle High School, which is a powerhouse in Northern California. It was a big game. There were a lot of people there, a lot of college scouts there, and I ended up having my best game and performing really well. And it showed me that I can really compete with the best talent. So that's just a great memory for me.
Nice. So obviously playing out in front of a lot of scouts there. I'm sure obviously put in a position where you could have gone to a few different schools coming out of high school. How was the recruiting? Can you kind of walk me through that a bit?
Yeah, so my recruiting process was interesting. Just the fact that my junior year, I had to step away from football just to recover from some injuries, and so that year I was only able to play basketball at that time. So I knew going into my senior year, I really had to, work and grind and make the most of it. So I ended up playing 4 games in my senior year and ended up getting some offers from San Jose State and San Diego State. And I ultimately decided to go to San Diego State.
So at San Diego State, out the gate, a little different story. I mean, again, it's 2019. I mean, we're not quite into the whole pandemic scene yet, but we are getting there very
Mhm.
soon. Obviously, not a whole lot happening for you there, and probably part of the reason why you ended up deciding to go the JUCO route next there at San Mateo. So, talk to me about that process.
Yeah, so like a lot of high school kids going into a D1 program, you think it's just going to be sweet and everything's going to be made for you. But it was just a hard adjustment, just uh, the taxing and just the life of a D1 athlete. I definitely worked hard and I did all that, but I just felt like I wasn't in a place with my development to where I wanted to continue there. So I ended up making the decision to, take a step back, go closer to home in San Mateo, and just work on myself and develop there so that my next stop, I would just be ready to go and I could grow from there.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily a bad idea to go
Mhm.
JUCO. I think for a lot of people coming out of high school, you do need that out the gate because, I mean, let's just face it, a lot of people that go the JUCO route, they got to make a decision as to whether or not they truly love this game. And
Right.
so, usually during JUCO, they put you through the fire and really test you guys. And trying to figure out if you are one of these people who truly wants it. Talk about that grind that you had during your JUCO days and how you ultimately found your way to Memphis.
Yeah. So I love junior college. It was honestly, I have some of my best memories from there just because of how tough it is. I don't know if people know, but in California, like junior colleges, there's no housing. There's no meal plans. There's no scholarships or anything like that. So you really have to get it all on your own. Um, so really, it's just you're with your teammates and with your brothers, and you guys come together and uh, endure like all that pain together. And it's honestly, it's what shaped me into who I am today. So it was a great time for me.
Yeah, and I'm assuming while you were there, you probably easy to go there. I mean, you probably stayed at home, right?
Yeah, exactly. I live probably 20 minutes away, so not too far at all. It was just a little tough with the meal plan, not having a meal plan, just like a D1 school. So, but yeah, it was nice being able to be home and yeah.
So, obviously you were at San Mateo, and then from there you ended up finding your way to Memphis. How did that process work? Did you have some other places to go to, or was it always going to be Memphis?
Yeah, so Memphis actually came into the picture towards the end of my season. Um, Going into the one season I played at San Mateo, I had offers from Florida State and Indiana, and then halfway through, I got an offer from Liberty, and then started picking up some more interest at the end. But I knew from the jump that like Memphis was special. I instantly bonded with our tight end coach, Brad Salem, and honestly fell in love with it here. So I knew like that was where I wanted to go.
Well, I mean, let's just face it. Like when we get a tight end who has gone through the grind, the JUCO grind, who has proven toughness. I mean, again, good size, about 6'5", 250. I mean, I would
Mhm.
imagine that there were several D1 schools that would easily take you. But hey, man, being at Memphis, great school, great program, being a part of fantastic offense, got to be fun.
Mhm.
We'll talk about that in just a little bit. As we talk about you as a tight end, kind of briefly just sort of described you as a tight end, but I know maybe there's a little bit more you can add to that. How would you describe your style of play?
I think my style of play is just versatility. Like I feel like nowadays with tight ends, there's a lot of guys who are either receiving like a receiving tight end or a blocking tight end, but I feel like I kind of embrace the best of both worlds. I love to be in line and get my hands dirty in the run game, but also love being split out wide and run some routes catching the ball. So I just take pride in having that versatility in my game.
Yeah, I was trying to look up some of your numbers on PFF, and seems like most of the time you have played in line.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally in the slot, maybe out wide every so often. But being able to, be in the trenches really with some of the big boys, trying to fend off, some of these, defenders, got to be something. Um, Also want to talk about you, as a receiver. Obviously, did well for yourself this past season. When I have looked at you, some of the things that come out for me is certainly a guy with good contact balance, some good hands. Able to really be a reliable target for your quarterback who, bro, really one of the best quarterbacks, not only in the conference, but really the country.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that offense there. Obviously, led by Hennigan.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, Seth Hennigan, he's a guy. There'd be times when in practice he'd throw me balls that I have no idea how he even does it, but he just puts the ball where it needs to be. So it was honestly a blast just being in an offense with him and being surrounded by other pieces like Rock Taylor, Mario Anderson, or Demir Blankensee. So it was just cool. It was really cool to be a part of an offense that was so dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna talk about all those guys, but he seemed like you went ahead and hit them all. I mean, a
Uh,
lot of solid prospects this year coming out of University of Memphis. Again, talked up quarterback, receivers, a whole lot of other people there. When we think about some of the people who have really influenced you in your overall development, is there any other guys there during your really throughout college who have really poured into you the most?
yeah. So the first person that comes to mind is my junior college head coach, Tim Tolick. I mean, he believed in me from the jump and got me to Memphis. So I'm so grateful for him and also just the staff here at Memphis. My whole time here, I had the same head coach, the same offensive coordinator, and the same position coach, which nowadays is very rare. So I love all those guys, and I'm just super grateful for them. And last, I'm so grateful for my high school head coach. He's helped me through the transition of beginning at San Diego State and then going to San Mateo and then being out here. So um, I have a great support system, and just I'm super grateful for all of them.
Awesome. So, Anthony, want to walk through some of the highlights of
Mhm.
you as a football player, focusing mostly on this past season. As I was looking at this past season, actually, fairly early on in the season, you guys really, I don't know, separated yourself from a whole lot of people as really one of the best offenses, not only in your conference but in the country. And for some people, it might have been an upset. For some, maybe not. Florida State game.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it, man. I mean, had a solid game. Came out with a touchdown in that game. Can you walk me through your favorite moments there?
Yeah. So going into the game, it rained earlier that morning. And so it was extremely humid. It was hot. Um, so as soon as you stepped outside, you were sweating. So we knew it was going to be a long day. It was going to be a grind going up against a team like Florida State. They didn't end up doing as well as you think, but early on they had a great reputation. So it was a battle the whole game. And the play that actually scored the touchdown on, we tried running it earlier in the game, but our quarterback tripped on one of the O linemen, so the play didn't work. So we came back to it, and it still worked. Scored a touchdown at Florida State, so it was a great feeling. And honestly, most important of all, we came out with the dub. So it was a great day, and it was a fun flight back to Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's always a fun flight back when get a good solid win.
Mhm.
Ended up winning 20-12 in that game, and obviously, like you said, I mean, early on in the season, no one thought that Florida State was going to have like as bad a season as they did. But you guys, really, I don't know. I think the eyes were on you guys very early, as maybe perhaps one of these teams who is a non-power, four, conference, team who maybe we could actually see now. I mean, with this whole playoff system, you guys could have been there. And so I think a lot of people were cheering you guys on. I mean, maybe as an upset for some people. Very close, didn't quite get there, ended up with an 11-2 record.
Mhm.
Another one of the highlights from this season that I wanted to talk through is a little later in the season, you guys really put up an offensive show against UAB. And despite you only having a few receptions, actually came away with a couple touchdowns. So
Mhm.
walk through some of the moments in that game if you can remember.
Yeah. So honestly, it was later in the season. And at that point, we've kind of found our groove, and we just knew we had to execute. So we went into the game like any other game, and just executed. I felt like we really gelled that game, and specifically for me, just I got open and I was throwing the ball and was able to score a couple touchdowns. So it was a great. It's always a great day when you score one touchdown, but when you score two, it's an even better day. And we won by quite a lot, so it was a great day.
Yeah, 53-18. That's
Yeah.
definitely I don't know, putting a whooping on somebody.
Mhm.
So really solidifying yourselves and your position in your conference. Obviously, throughout the nation as well. I mean, ended up going 11-2, very solid year. But it seems as if there's a lot of seniors who are done and moving on. How's that team going to look with obviously the starting quarterback walking your way and several receivers and a whole lot of other people? How's it going to look next year?
It's definitely going to look different, but I mean, the way that Coach Silverfield and all the coaches run the program is that nothing changes. It's the same goal, which is making the playoffs and winning the conference championship. So I know they hit the portal hard. They got a lot of guys coming in. A lot of them look great. So it's just about gelling in spring ball and just continuing to work in the off season. So um, I have complete faith in them.
Yeah, very aggressive in the portal.
Hmm.
I've noticed, but good quality recruiting staff there. They do a great job of retooling every year, and so I definitely feel like Memphis is going to be in a position once again next year for potential, conference championships and other things moving on. Obviously, you yourself moving on
Hmm.
to bigger and better things. Obviously, you want to try and get into the pros. We had a little hiccup there for a little bit because I mean we didn't know what was happening with the whole JUCO ruling. And
Hmm.
so I know you probably missed out on some all-star opportunities if we're being frank.
Hmm.
But hey, man, we're now looking at you as an NFL prospect. Has that sunk in yet?
Honestly, it has just because uh, when I played my last game in the Frisco Bowl against West Virginia, like my mindset was, okay, I'm going into the draft. I'm a prospect now. It was maybe a week or two into like after when I was told I could come back. So really, my mindset changed for a brief moment where it's like, okay, I have another year. But as soon as I got the news saying, oh, you can't come back, I was like, okay, just back to the original plan. So yeah.
But what are you doing these days, man? Like you training somewhere? You with any particular coach? Talk to me about what you're doing right now as you're preparing yourself for pro day.
Yeah, so previously, I had a training facility lined up with my agent. I was going to go there and train for pro day, doing all that stuff. But since I came back to Memphis and the plans changed for a moment, I decided just to stay here because I didn't want to waste any time moving or anything like that. And I just gone to work here with our head strength coach, Coach Noah Franklin, who is super knowledgeable and like the drills and stuff like that. So he's getting me right, and it's still great to be around the team and the facility. So it's all worked out.
So, talk to me about how that strength coach has helped mold you a bit over the years. I mean, I know you've been at Memphis now for a few years. Um,
Mhm.
talk to me a little bit about the process.
Yeah, so honestly, I really should have shouted him out earlier with the people who influenced me, but that's my guy. From the first day I got to Memphis, he's been in my corner just helping me get right. And we do a lot of hard stuff. We work very hard at Memphis. Like we pride ourselves in being just grinding and working hard. So nothing's come easy, but he's a guy who's just always been in my corner and has always pushed me and has molded me into the person I am today. So I'm extremely grateful for him.
So, you have any personal bests in the weight room that we need to, shout from the rooftop? Something you're most proud of, or what?
So I'm most proud about my power clean, which is 335 pounds, which is a good amount of weight. I'd say it's pretty good. And then,
Solid.
yeah, solid. And then my back squat is 495. So,
All
um,
right. All right. Well, hey,
yeah.
obviously they got you working. They're trying to mold you into a professional tight end.
Mhm.
So definitely working, training hard. When is that pro day?
March 18th.
March 18th. So a few weeks away, but dude, it's gonna be here before we know it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so obviously keep grinding. Anthony, want to take some time to get a chance to know you outside of football.
Mhm.
Obviously we've been talking about you, your story, and all of your football highlights, but what else about you do we need to know? Other than that, you're good, solid football player. Anything about you maybe hobbies, interests,
Mhm.
fun facts, anything you want to share? Go for it.
Yeah. So actually, I have a side hustle as being a barber. Ever since I was at San Diego State, I was like the team barber, just cutting up all my teammates' hair. And honestly, it's been great because it helps you bond with a lot of your teammates and um, just gets you closer with people. So that's something I've been doing for a while, and that's definitely a big hobby of mine.
So, is it always like this as a barber that you present to people, or do you mix it up? I mean, what?
What do you mean?
I'm saying your style.
Oh, my, yeah. I mean, I always keep it short just because it's convenient. But I try to make sure to take pictures of like some of the haircuts I've done so that I can show people so they don't think I'm just gonna buzz their hair, like just cut all their hair
Okay.
off. So yeah,
I,
no.
I was just kind of joking about that a little bit. Like I don't know if it's just kind of like an army routine where people just sort of line
No.
up and you're just like, you got five of them to go, and so you just buzz them all. But obviously, like you said, I mean, you try and offer a little bit of
Mhm.
variability
Yeah.
as a barber. Um, Hopefully, you haven't cut anybody. So,
Yeah.
but I would imagine, obviously, if you have a person like in a chair, allow some time to bond, of course.
Mhm.
Um, Let me see. Anything else that you'd like to share about yourself, other than you like to cut some hair on the side, or what?
Honestly, I'm just a grinder, and honestly, I've just given this football thing my everything. So that's really the biggest part of my life right now. So
All
yeah.
right. I got a couple fun questions that I can ask
Okay.
your way. I mean, again, this is more or less just to get to know you as a person.
Mhm.
I'd like to do this, again, these are just for fun, have nothing to do with
Okay.
football at all. So, let's say, well, I don't know, man, are you a big movie guy? Like,
I
do
love movies. Yeah.
you like any of these Marvel movies or something, or what?
I'm not a big Marvel guy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What are you into then? Or like, are you a horror flick guy or what?
I'd say I really like any genre. I like more realistic movies. I like one of my all-time favorite movies is like Training Day. And then I just watched Interstellar, which is a crazy thriller movie. Um, yeah,
A little bit out there with the sci-fi, if we're being
yeah,
real, but
yeah.
it's okay. I mean, what to each their own. Let's see if there's some more things that I can maybe ask on you. Uh, all right, some fun stuff here. It's karaoke night over in Memphis, and they're handing you the microphone, and they're saying, "Mr. Landphere, it is your turn to sing something." First of all, you feel confident doing so in general, but if you did get the opportunity, what would that be? Like, what would
Oh
you
my
sing to the
goodness.
masses?
Ooh,
But
nothing.
first glance, it sounds like it's a no.
Yeah, like it's a no. I would absolutely not put myself in that position, and I don't know. Nothing's really coming to mind. I don't know.
So what's your vibe though? Like when you yourself listening to music, maybe you're in the locker room prepping up for like a
Mhm.
football game or something. Like what's in the earbuds?
Some rap for sure. Um, also like Spanish music. Um, yeah, I'm trying to learn some Spanish. I've taken Spanish for a while just growing up. But I definitely want to like I can speak it okay, but I just want to be fluent in it. So I listen to Spanish music too. So those are my two big ones.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I was perusing through your social media, and I was noticing that it seems like you've done some work like in the community, and you're also giving back somewhat. Have you yourself thought about perhaps what you might use football as a platform for, whether it be like a charity or a cause? Like, what would that be for you? Is that something you've thought through or what?
For sure. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I am playing football. Not only because I love it, but also because athletes just have like they just naturally have a platform. It can help so many people. So I love doing like we do a lot of community service here, just interacting with the kids and just helping the community out. So I love just like playing football with the kids or just interacting with the community. So yeah.
Yeah, I was watching like a group of you guys like sing carols and stuff
Yeah.
on on your
Uh,
IG, I think. That was fun. But yeah, it was good. Obviously, you've had a good fun time there at Memphis.
mhm.
Um, uh, who maybe did you grow up a fan of? As a tight end. I mean, coming out of California, I'm thinking maybe George Kittle. Who's your guy?
So he's a big one. I'd say when I was really young, I was a big fan of Megatron, Calvin Johnson, and
Sure.
then as I've played more and more tight end, I love George Kittle, obviously, just because of how dynamic he is. But I'm also a big Tony Gonzalez fan. He played football and basketball at Cal, so West Coast guy. But I'm a huge fan of him too.
So hopefully one of these days you'll find yourself, at the next level, like some of these other people. I'm sure you would love to link up once again with your quarterback, like wherever he ends up. I mean, that would be a fun little, you know, time, getting back together. I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, from now, moving forward, but as we wrap things up, man, go ahead and tell all these scouts out there what they would be getting if they took a chance on you, if they signed you, drafted you, and gave you that opportunity. So, close us with your pitch.
Yeah, so what you get in me is just a dude who gives it his everything, who works his butt off, who's always in the building, who really cares and makes this his life. Um, just being coachable and taking criticism rather than just being hyped up all the time. I love getting better and being coached. So um, that's what you'll get out of me. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely looking at a decent all around tight end who can do a little bit of everything, who's tough enough to work in the trenches, and also fluid enough as an athlete to get out there in space and be a good receiver, and fight through defenders and score touchdowns,
Mhm.
which we've seen. Also seen you obviously as a good solid contributor on special teams as well, which
Mhm.
I've known you've done a lot of that throughout your career. But bro, as you're trying to pursue your ultimate goal, want to wish you all the best of luck in this process. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Sure thing. Once again, I got Anthony Landphere, tight end at a University of Memphis. Check him out.